Ah, shit. Haven't been live for a while. Let's see if the notifications pop up. Let me see. See if we get some people in the room. Hey, we can get some people in the room. So, as you all know, Jesse Jackson has passed away. You know what? I need to You know what? Let me. Okay, I'm gonna go back to. I'm gonna have to do this different. So we just. Damn, I forgot the New York Times do not like me. So as you all know, Jesse Jackson passed a week ago. Was his funeral. The family slammed the Democrats. They said, "Do not." They did not want this to be anything political. Hey, Aiden, sweetie, how you doing? They said they did not want his funeral to be political. Biden, Obama, good baby. Biden, Obama, and the bitch Kamala got up there, and all they did was talk about Trump at his funeral. And the family specifically asked, do not do that. And they did it any damn way. The disrespect. So we're going to talk about his legacy real quick, and then we're going to go in on Dick Gregory, because I never liked the man, but, I don't wish any ill will. And he dead now, or his children, or anything like that. But I don't never liked the man, because the man was instrumental of getting MLK unalive. Yes, he was. But I'm going to let Dick Gregory break that down to you. And then we're going to do some highlights of the funeral and so forth and so on. And that's what we're going to do for an hour. So Jesse Jackson, he passed away at 84. Of course, he praised as a trailblazer in the civil rights movement. I'm fine. How you doing, love? Trailblazer in the civil rights movement and democratic politics. And you know what? They slammed Trump, but Trump was instrumental when Jesse Jackson ran twice in the 80s. He financed that man's campaign. And y'all call him racist. Jesse and Trump were good friends. But they ain't say none of that. Anyway, he was a trailblazer in civil rights movement and democratic politics. Jackson championed the rights of black, poor, and working class people with his rainbow coalition. Good, baby. He was prominent in the movement for over 50 years, and he ran for president in 1988. And so his family said, our father was a servant leader not only to our family, but to the oppressed, the voiceless, and overlooked around the world. We shared them with the world, and in return, the world became part of his extended family. His unwavering belief in justice, equality, and love uplifted millions, and we ask you to honor his memory by continuing to fight for the values he lived by. No cause of death was given. Jackson had progressive supranuclear palsy, PSP, for more than a decade. He was originally diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. He was also hospitalized twice with COVID. He was close to Dr. Martin Luther King. Oh, thank you, love. Somebody got a message in review. What is that? You know what? You need to I don't know what you mean by that, but you need to go on a timeout. Oh, thank you, Crystal Love. You sorry? What happened, baby? In an interview with The Guardian in May 2020, Jackson said, I was a trailblazer, I was a pathfinder. I had to deal with doubt and cynicism and fears about a black person running. There were black scholars writing papers about why I was wasting my time. Even blacks said a black couldn't win. Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. Vicky, I have no idea what you're saying, love. People who paid a real price: Ralph Abernathy, Dr. King, Medgar Evers, Fannie Lou Hamer, those who fought like hell. Jackson campaigned against disparities in care and outcomes. After 400 years of slavery, segregation, and discrimination, why would anyone be shocked that African Americans are being unalived disproportionately from that C-19 virus? Oh, you said hi again. Thank you. Thank you for the likes. Appreciate y'all. He also said all the past presidents have failed to end the virus of white superiority and fix the multifaceted issues confronting African Americans. He was, hey Mason, hey Law. He was born on October 8th, 1941. He was a Libra then. In Greenville, South Carolina. Jackson became involved in politics at an early age as he navigated the segregated South. He was elected class president at an all-black Sterling High School, where he also excelled in athletics. In 1959, he received a football scholarship to the University of Illinois. That's why he was in it. God is awesome, Vicky. Yes. The Chicago White Sox offered the young Jackson a spot on the baseball team. I didn't even know this, but he decided to focus on his education. During winter break, his freshman year of college, Jackson returned home to Greenville and tried to obtain a book needed for his studies from a white-only Greenville public library, but was turned away. The experience stayed with him. A few months later, July 1960, Jackson and 7 black high school students entered the Greenville Library for a peaceful protest. After browsing the library and reading books, the group, later known as Greenville 8, were arrested for disorderly conduct and later released on a $30 bond for going to the library. Mm. A judge eventually ruled that they had the right to use the publicly funded institution, and the Greenville library system became integrated in September 1960. Damn, that's deep when you think about that. Jackson did not return to the University of Illinois that year, instead transferred to HBCU, Black North Carolina Agricultural and Technical College in Greensboro, where he played football as a quarterback. He was a national officer for the black fraternity Omega Psi Phi. He Black Boule. Black Boule, gatekeeper of the Illuminati. He was. He was elected the student body president while earning a sociology degree. He also continued his activism by participating in sit-ins and restaurants in Greensboro. My leadership skills came from athletic arena, he said in 1984. In many ways, they were developed from playing quarterback, assessing defenses, motivating your own team. When the game starts, you use what you got and don't cry about what you don't have. You run to your strength. You always practice to win. During college, he met his wife, Jacqueline, who he married in 1962, and she's still alive. And they have five children: Sanita, Jesse Jr., Jonathan Luther, Yusuf Du Bois, and Jacqueline. He later had a sixth child, Ashley, during an extramarital affair with Corinne Stafford in the early 2000s. She spoke at his funeral. Well, that's good, Vicky. I'm glad both of them was Black Boule, and I'll break that down. Gatekeepers for the Illuminati, but that's good. They did not. I give them credit. They did do what they did. They did. However, we about to get into it. Jackson met King, who would become his mentor, at an airport in Atlanta in the early 1960s. Make Vicky a mod. Why should I do that, Mason? King had followed Jackson's student activism from afar for several years. In 1964, Jackson enrolled at Chicago Theological Seminary as he continued to be involved in the civil rights movement. Why, Mason, you ain't told me? Jackson traveled with his classmates to Sellout, Alabama to join in the movement known as Bloody Sunday. Yeah, now they did go through that, where nonviolent civil rights marchers who crossed the Edmund Bridge in Selma, Alabama, were beaten by law enforcement. Impressed by Jackson's leadership at Selma, King offered him a position with the civil rights group that he co-founded, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Okay, I can make her a mod. Hold on, Vicky. You want to be a mod, Vicky? Because she didn't ask for it. Let me see. Does she want it? After a couple years, Jackson put his seminary studies on hold to focus on Operation Breadbasket. I do remember that in the 70s. An economic justice program that harnessed the power of black churches by calling on pastors to pressure companies to employ more black people through negotiations and boycotts. In 1967, Jackson became Operation Breadbasket's national director and was ordained a minister a year later. Vicky, you want to be a mod? We knew he was going to do a good job, King said, but he's done better than a good job. Tragedy struck soon after Jackson gained a leadership position in SCLC. April 4th, 1968, MLK was assassinated at the Lorraine Hotel in Memphis, Tennessee. The experience stayed with Jackson for the rest of his life. Every time I think about it, it's like pulling on a scab off a sword. It's hurtful, painful thought that a man of love is killed by hate, that a man of peace should be killed by violence. A man who cared is killed by careless. Dang, that's a long article. Following King's death, Jackson continued to work for SCLC until 1971, when he created his own organization, People United to Save Humanity, PUSH. I remember that. The organization hosted reading programs for black youth and helped them find jobs. All right, Mason. All right. Thanks for coming, love. In 1984, Jackson ran for president, becoming the second black person to run after Shirley Chisholm. In 1972, she ran. Tonight we come together. Okay, let me go. Then he started the Rainbow Push Coalition. Throughout the years, the coalition has paid for more than $6 million in college scholarships and gave financial assistance to 4,000 families facing foreclosure so they could save their homes. Damn, that's some good work, Jesse. I had to give that to you. Then he ran for president 88, financed by Donald Trump. Ain't nobody saying that shit because Donald Trump was gonna run and he didn't because Jesse was his friend. In 2000, President Bill Clinton awarded Jackson the highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, for his decades of work focused on opportunity for colored people. All right, now let's get into the controversy. Dick Gregory on on Jesse Jackson and how he assisted in his assassination. Now let's go there. Hold on. Oh shit. Let me see.
He says to create.
Okay, nope, not that one.
This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be News. News Free Dixie for the 21st century. God bless. Hey, Mama Gregory, how you doing? Hey, son, God bless. What's going on?
This is Dick Gregory.
Check in with you, see how you was doing. You been reading that shit on Jesse? No, sir. Hold on. You ain't seen nothing what they just did over the weekend? What happened with Jesse? They just released that Jesse was an operative. That means him and Hoover coordinated killing King. Jesse Jackson? Wow. Did you hear what I mean? How you do what you do and you don't know what's going on in the world? There's so much stuff going on. You know what's crazy out here? Nothing going on like this. And then they also released something I had to tell Martin King yesterday before it came out because I've been knowing about it. When King went to the hospital, he wasn't dead. They smothered him to death, okay? All of that came out. And it ain't no accident they bring that shit out a week before the Black Hawkers on Jesse. And a week before the Civil Rights Museum opened up. Yes, sir. Yeah. So what's happening? The family, the holiday was good? Well, I actually lost my grandfather died just 28 days after my grandma passed. I gotta go back up to Michigan this weekend. I mean, he just died of a broken heart, I guess. Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. How long they been married?
Now, I'm gonna go back so y'all can hear what he said about Jesse Jackson.
Him and Hoover coordinated killing King. Jesse Jackson? Wow. Did you hear what I mean? How you do what you do and you don't know what's going on in the world? There's so much stuff going on. You know what's crazy out here? Nothing going on like this. And then they also released something I had to tell Martin King yesterday before it came out because I've been knowing about it. When King went to the hospital, he wasn't dead. They smothered him to death, okay? All of that came out. It ain't no accident they bring that shit out a week before the Black Hawkers on Jesse. And a week before the Civil Rights Museum opened up. Yes, sir. Yeah. So what's happening? The family, the holiday was good? Well, I actually lost my grandfather died just 28 days after my grandma passed.
I'm gonna go a little past that.
His oldest daughter, my auntie, they called her and called say he was already dead.
Let me go past that.
I was checking it on you because I heard the black line. He's been arrested 3 times for impersonating a cop. Oh, wow. He's still a hormone. The third time he's arrested with impersonating the FBI agent. He can go in the mayor's office. That's a government agent, man. Just telling me with all this bullshit going on, this motherfucker handcuffed her. Have you seen that shit? Where he handcuffed the woman? I haven't seen that part. Oh, okay. Huh? No, I'll look into that. I didn't saw the part where he was trying to harass you or whatever. No, the Black Lives, he has a separate organization that's his own. But he has carte blanche to the mayor's office, carte blanche to Congressman Lewis. So I'm fixing to eat them motherfuckers up alive.
Go on, Dick
Wait a minute now. Because I'm going to send mine. I'm putting on the internet to the FBI, to the CIA, and to the Atlanta police, and to the mayor. What is this about when y'all talking about security, huh? Yeah, no, it's weird, man. I'm just glad you around, man, to see how, like you said, it's playtime. I can't hear you. I'm glad you around to see all this, because playtime is over, like you said. It's a damn joke, man. This is just a farce. Because what do you think about that black preacher line that Mark Burns had? The what? The Donald Trump supporter, the black preacher who went. So you know him? Yes, sir. I was a Kansas. Look, I know that TV show on HBO.
Okay. So that's the first thing. Hold on, let me go.
Son, God bless. What's going on? Not much. I was just trying to check in with you, see how you was doing. Have you been reading that shit on Jesse? No, sir. Hold on. You ain't seen nothing what they just did over the weekend. What happened with Jesse? They just released that Jesse was an operative. That means him and Hoover coordinated killing King. Jesse Jackson? Wow. Did you feel what I mean? How you do what you do and you don't know what's going on in the world? There's so much stuff going on. You know what's crazy out here? Nothing going on like this. And then they also released something I had to tell Martin King yesterday before it came out, because I've been knowing about it. When King went to the hospital, he wasn't dead. They smothered him to death, okay? All of that came out. It ain't no accident they bring that shit out a week before the Black Hawkers on Jesse. And a week before the Civil Rights Museum opened up. Yes, sir. Yeah. So what's happening? The family, the holiday was good? Yes, well, I actually lost my grandfather died 28 days after my grandma.
Yeah, but that's the part. But I want him to get more in depth on it. Hold on.
I guess. Oh, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I want him to get. Excuse me. I had the honor of seeing Dick Gregory before he passed. In 2014, me and a couple of my friends went. Okay, so now I want to do that. So we're going to... And then the family asked that they leave the politics out. Kamala Biden, Obama, Biden, and Kamala disrespected the family's wishes, and they made it political. This is Jason Whitlock.
We'll just start with a simple question. How should we remember Jesse Jackson? And then we'll go from there. And so, Anthony, I'll let you start us off. Anthony, how should we remember Jesse Jackson?
I'm careful to mark how one grieves or how we should grieve. As a minister and as one who does eulogies quite often, to eulogize one is to speak well of the dead. So initially, it is to remember him in the best light as we can. Obviously, with anybody, we're not going to agree with everything they did, everything they said, every position they held. But at the point of death and in that point of grieving, to see them in the best light possible.
Shamika, how should we remember Jesse Jackson?
Jason, that's a question that I'm still asking myself because I was conflicted when going to Instagram to post a rest in peace for him.
I know that's right.
One, because he's an Aggie. I'm an Aggie. So I felt like, okay, we went to the same
North Carolina
university.
A&T for
Yes.
yeah.
I remember hearing great things about him, but I also remember that he was a flip-flopper.
Right.
And that was one of the things that frustrated me. And so I didn't know how to feel about
Hey, Trey. Hey, Law.
death because he's a flip-flopper.
Facts.
I do appreciate you sharing that he was against abortion, which I believe
1977.
Yeah, especially since he had a child out of wedlock on his wife. I believe that he is against abortion. So I just, I'm trying to figure that out, how to feel, because I do think he was a flip-flopper, and that frustrated me.
Delano, how should we remember Jesse Jackson?
I think we should remember him as an iconic political figure. In many respects, he's a bridge between the King generation and the Obama generation. I think sometimes Obama will call himself part of the Joshua generation, in terms of borrowing some of the biblical language, and between Moses and Joshua. And I think Jackson actually really was part of that generation. He was the bridge between those two. Again,
no, he wasn't. No, he was not. He was outdated as fuck.
That really had, a diverse sort of multi-ethnic left liberal coalition, particularly in 1988. We're talking about a person who, again, has his feet in politics, but also, in terms of his public persona, spoke about many moral issues. You mentioned abortion. I remember him talking about the crisis in the black family in 1986. On a round table with Glenn Lowry and Eleanor Holmes Norton, and addressing the breakdown of the black family in discrete and distinct moral terms. So a complicated figure, obviously. Shamika talked about some of his personal life, but certainly an iconic figure in modern American political history.
Virgil, how do we remember? How should we?
I think there's a blend of both of the issues where he stood strong on. I think we've got to remember those and think about those things. I'll add to to the list that Delano kind of opened up. The other thing that he did was early on in 1980, it was 1980s. He had worked very closely with Donald Trump. And had worked on finances and empowerment for black communities as well. And so there were a lot of things that he did that were right and good. Most of them stemmed from the political aspect. And I won't negate the ideas that I believe he was at least stronger in, and by comparison to Martin Luther King Jr., in that he did preach a robust gospel. He did point people to the Lord and to Christ, but again, there was it wasn't. It was shortly thereafter when the opportunities presented for him to enter politics that he did, and then he would negate some of the stands that he took, pro-abortion stands that he took, or rather, pro-life positions that he took as a pastor. He negated those and walked away and kind of turned into a different direction. I think is everyone's struggling because.
That's because he was black boule. He was a gatekeeper for the Illuminati. He sold his soul. That's what it was. And we're going to get to how I'm going to go in and out to some excerpts. From the funeral.
Do not bring your politics
Out of respect to Reverend Jesse Jackson and the life that he lived, to these homegoing services. Right. Come respectful and come to say thank you. But these homegoing services are welcome to all. Democrat, Republican, liberal, and conservative, right wing, left wing, because his life is broad enough to cover the full spectrum of what it means to be an American.
Oh, hey, Patriots. Now, you just heard the Reverend Jesse Jackson's son, Jesse Jackson Jr., say plainly.
I'm sorry. What up, babe? How you doing? Right. I played that. I played that. He was monumental in unaliving Martin Luther King. Facts. Facts. Right. I agree. I agree. So now that you here, let me go back and play. Hold on. What Dick Gregory, I had the opportunity of seeing Dick Gregory before he passed.
This is Judge Joe Brown, and we're listening to We All Be New.
So this is what Dick Gregory said about Jesse Jackson.
God bless.
I'm live on Jesse Jackson. Come in.
Hey, Baba Gregory, how you doing? Hey, son, God bless. What's going on? Nothing much. I was just trying to check in with you, see how you was doing. You been reading that shit on Jesse? No, sir. Hold on. You ain't seen nothing what they just did over the weekend? What happened with Jesse? They just released that Jesse was an operative. That means him and Hoover coordinated killing King. Jesse Jackson? Wow. Did you hear what I mean? How you do what you do and you don't know what's going on in the world? There's no going on. You know what's crazy out here? Nothing going on like this. And then they also released something I had to tell Martin King yesterday before it came out because I've been knowing about it. When King went to the hospital, he wasn't dead. They smothered him to death, okay? All of that came out.
So I played that earlier. He damn sure did that therapy. You right. You right. So now let me get back to what I was just saying. So I started with that. Dick Gregory was the truth. Some people say he was an operative as well, but I love me some Dick Gregory. I did. Now, where was I at? Oh, here we go. Going back to where I was at.
Do not bring your politics. Out of respect to Reverend Jesse Jackson and the life that he lived, to these homegoing services.
Now, the family asked them not to bring any political stance. Obama, Biden, which Biden said he helped put the first black to the Supreme Court. And it was Thurgood Marshall with his dementia ass. They shouldn't even let that man go up there. But anyway, that was a lie. Obama, Biden, and Kamala, Jezebel bitch, all disrespected the family's wishes. And they was pissed about it. Because I wasn't going to do no video on Jesse Jackson because I never liked him. I knew he was black bootleg gatekeeper for the Illuminati. So.
Obama said that was very triggering, and he did it on purpose, being that
this is Brian Maxwell,
commander-in-chief in the history of the country. But check this clip out. Each day we're told by those in high office to fear each other and to turn on each other, and that some Americans count more than others, and that some don't even count at all. Everywhere we see greed and bigotry being celebrated, and bullying and mockery masquerading as strength. Now, if you listen to what he's saying, everything that Obama said is describing what the Democrats are actually doing.
Right.
Bullying and all of this crap they're trying to do, masquerading as strength, like they got the moral high road, when in reality, they're wretched. They're low down, dirty dogs.
Right.
And so everything he spoke, MAGA should never take that personal because it wasn't coming at us. He was literally double speaking. He's speaking out loud, telling the world what he knows his party is doing. Every single part of everything he said. He never said Trump. He never even said the Trump administration. He never even said Republicans. He just spoke about things that's happening, and that's what Democrats do. They have this weird belief that they have to tell you what they're doing in order for it to work, ritualistically. I won't get too deep in it, but just trust. That's why Hollywood makes certain movies, then the thing happens. The Democrats, they'll go back and you'll find a video of somebody talking about something years ago, about something that's actually happened, because they know their voters aren't really listening. They're in awe of the celebrity or mesmerized by the skin tone, but not paying attention to the actual content.
Exactly, therapy. Exactly.
So you heard Obama there. Now listen to Jesse Jackson Jr. as he's going to take it straight to them for disrespecting his father's funeral. Check this out. If you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I will never ask you for a cash app, a super chat, or a donation. But you hitting that like button, it helps a great deal. Helps get the video out there. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe and make sure that you.
And that's Brian Maxwell. I like his commentary.
That way YouTube will make sure that you get notified when I upload new videos.
I listened for several hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson. He maintained a tense relationship with the political order, not because the presidents were white or black, but the demands of our message, the demands of speaking for the least of these, those who were disinherited, the damned, the dispossessed, the disrespected, demanded not Democratic or Republican solutions, but demanded a consistent, prophetic voice that at no point in time ever sold us out as a people.
Your daddy did.
You heard, he went off and he said, hey, listen, they don't know him. And this prophetic voice that never sold us out to the people, that's where the bottom falls out. Because Jesse Jackson Jr. could have just stuck to scolding those 3 presidents for getting up there and being disrespectful, but he didn't. Now, I told you earlier that the two didn't get along. Barack Obama and Jesse Jackson did not like each other. They just played the game for the public. Now, I want you to listen to this clip where Jesse Jackson is caught on a hot mic, and he's talking about Barack Obama and what Obama's doing.
I remember that.
Check this clip
I
out.
remember that.
Presidential nominee Barack Obama. On Sunday, Jackson had just completed an interview with the Fox News channel and made the following comment, he says, in reaction to a recent Obama speech on the morals and responsibilities of African American men. Presidential nominee Barack Obama. On Sunday, Jackson...
So as you heard there, he said that he wanted to cut Obama's you-know-what's off because he had been talking down to black people. Same thing he did in 2024 when it came to Kamala Harris. And then from that, they had a very, very tumultuous relationship, which is why the son made sure that he pointed out they didn't know him, and it had nothing to do with being white or black or any of that. And made sure that he pointed out the fact of his father never sold out his people, in which I'm going to show you in this video.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Jesse Jackson is going to speak about President Trump, the so-called racist. I want you to listen to this because Trump is going to speak too. It's not very long. But listen to these two. And then I want you to listen to the clip from 2018, what he did that broke Trump's heart. And then how President Trump has dealt with it when he heard the passing just the other day. Check this clip out.
I now want to bring forth a friend who, when we opened this Wall Street project and we talked about it, he gave us space at 40 Wall Street, which was to make a statement about our having a presence there. And beyond that, in terms of reaching out and being inclusive, he's done that too. And created for many people a comfort zone when I ran for the presidency in 84 and 88. And many others thought it was either laughable or something to avoid. He came to our business meeting here in New York because he has this sense of the curious and a will to risk to make things better. Who's an effective builder of building to build of people. Last year he was a part of our workshop, our panel workshop on what are the challenges and opportunities. And so this, a year later, Donald Trump, for a few minutes, challenges and opportunities to embrace the underserved communities. Donald Trump. Well, it is an honor to be here, and I was with Jesse last year, and we had a lot of fun, and it was a little different. Jesse started off...
But he racist.
And this country is in the hands of a few. And I thought to myself, is that a bad thing? What's wrong with that, Jesse? And he said, listen, I want some office space in your building on Wall Street, because the wall on wall will fall. And I said, it's okay, Jesse, I'll make a good deal with you. I'll get you some space. You'll pay about $40 a foot. And he said, no. I don't want to pay 40. I said, how about 30? No. He said, cheapest deal I ever made in the history of 40 Wall Street. Is that right? He got it for nothing. He's a very tough negotiator. You know that, right? He's a terrific guy. We love him, and I'm here for him. I will tell you, a large percentage of the people, and especially in construction, that are building these great jobs are black and minorities, and I'm very proud of it. We have close to 25%, and I think the number's going up, and they do a great job. There are no better builders than we have in New York, and a big percentage of that is black and minority folks.
45% of his built.
45% of his builders were black, but he racist. Y'all got the game fucked up. Y'all got the game fucked up. Y'all do.
Were black. But this is the man that they say was racist. And we're talking about he was doing this in the 80s, early 90s. Now, let's listen to how the snake Jesse Jackson, and I know the man has passed, but we got to call it what it is. This is why the president did not attend. Not only was the president attending services for our military soldiers that had lost their lives in the recent strikes in Iran, also because he was betrayed by Jesse Jackson. They wanted to honor Jesse Jackson and let him lay in state. This man was anti-American, anti-Trump, and we heard just how nice he spoke of Trump when President Trump funded his two presidential campaigns, gave him free space.
That part, he funded it. That part, he funded it and gave him free space on Wall Street, prime real estate. The fuck, but he racist. He like green.
$50,000, $60,000 a month. Gave it to him and his movement just to help him. 45% of his construction staff was black. Gave black their props. Didn't say African American, that disrespectful term that comes from white liberals. He addressed them as black and minorities.
No, that term came from Jesse Jackson. He renamed us African Americans, and most of us was already here. We did not come from Africa. That part. Some did, but most of us are indigenous to this land. This land is ours. Point blank, period. And y'all need to go on Land Bureau and put in your ancestors' name and find your land and go back and reclaim it, because you can get it.
Always had his thumb on the pulse and always been supportive of not just black or minorities, of all people. He loves who he is as a European white man. But he also realizes that we are all created equal in the eyes of the Most High God. Now, listen to Jesse Jackson and his snake cell betrayal, and then you're going to hear how Trump deals with it. Check this out.
His every sign is that he speaks like a racist. He conjures up those fears, but categorize him by a name does not quite address the issue. His beliefs about calling Africa and Haiti, our ally in the Revolutionary War, Haiti, a source of agriculture of America, Haiti, rice production, Haiti. Every dry stone tie down in America came from Liberia, Africa. A coffee from and gold from Ghana, Haiti, Africa. And so a misinformed man with power is a weapon of mass destruction.
And so it shows that Jesse Jackson is nothing more than a sellout. For him to call President Trump a racist, and this is in 2018, shows this man's character. Now, that's not the only thing that shows his character. I'm going to get into that because you're going to, again, jaw will hit the floor when you get the real deal on who that man is.
Well, he was instrumental in helping. He worked with Dick Gregory, and I played it 3-4 times, said how he worked with Hoover to unalive MLK. He did. And just like Therapy said, I forgot that part. He put blood on his shirt like he was right there. You were so right, Therapy. I forgot about that. He wasn't... we ain't supposed to speak ill of the dead, but I never liked him.
Or was. But listen to President Trump. After all of that, what he had to say.
I want to begin by expressing our sadness at the passing of a person who has been doing very well. Jesse was a piece of work. He was a piece of work. But he was a good man. just want to pay my highest respects to Reverend Jesse Jackson. Good man. He's actually, as you got to know him, you got better and better all the time. A lot of people, you get to know them, they get worse and worse. Jesse got better and better. I want to be
So even after being disrespected by Jesse Jackson and him throwing out all that racist stuff, President Trump still didn't take a time to take a jab at him like he did Steiner, the director that got unalived by his son out in California. Was it Rob Reiner? He didn't do a jab like that. He said he's a good man and got better with time. And Trump knows all of the things that I'm about to share with you. But he realized that would have been crass and it would have been tasteless. It would have been as tasteless as Jesse Jackson was in his assault on President Trump's character, calling him a racist. Now, let's dig into Jesse a little bit more. Now, I want you to check out this video clip of Jesse Jackson, okay, on the Dick Cavett show back in the late 70s, early 80s. I don't have the exact date. But if it's Dick Cavett, you know it was late 70s, early 80s because they took his show off the air as Johnny Carson came on the scene and took over. Now, I want you to check this out. Listen to this.
Visiting the Holocaust site, the tour guide asked me how did I feel about it. I said, one has to have a sense of tragedy, and I think it's real tragic. I said, and the phrase that many Jewish people use, never again, really should apply to everybody because all of us should say never again to fascism because this is the logical conclusion of fascism. Because I read Trail of Tears. I know how the Indians were exterminated. 60 million blacks were lost between Africa and America. We must have a new formula in the Middle East that represents more balance in our policy. We must be concerned about Palestinian justice, Lebanon's territorial integrity protected, and normalize ties with the Arab world. That must not be considered offensive.
So, you hear him talking about Palestine and the Arab world. Now, here's what's funny about that. Who else do we hear concerned about Palestine? Free Palestine. The Democrats all of a sudden got this resurgence in their love for Palestinians and for the Arabs and the Muslims. Now, it's not anything renewed. This has been happening under the surface and it's just being exposed for the average person to see it. You see, Jesse Jackson is about as far left as they come. He got up there and he acted like he was for the blacks and this, that, and the other. No, he was not. He was not.
He was Black Boule, a gatekeeper for the Illuminati. However, when he was ministering, he was pro-life. But then when he became a part of the Democrat Party, he was pro-choice. You can't do that when God is against abortion. The fuck?
Socialism, far left extremism, and anti-Americanism. Now, you heard his son say, oh, yeah, great man, loves Americans. Again, I'm going to expose who his son is, too, in this video. These folks are charlatans. So what?
Because didn't his son go to jail for embezzling? He can't never run for public office. Ain't that what it was? I think I remember correctly.
The Democrats did at the funeral, yeah, it was disrespect. But Obama did that to dance on his grave and payback for him embarrassing Obama on national television, being caught saying he wanted to cut Obama's you-know-what's off for being disrespectful to black Christians, using their Christianity and talking down at them because they want to have some morals and standards. And remember, Obama's preacher at his radical church was Reverend Jeremiah Wright, who was saying, God D America and death to America in church sermons. And that was Obama's pastor that helped feed his radicalized mind. Now, as you see here, this is Jesse Jackson with Fidel Castro, the dictator from Cuba. Reverend Jesse Jackson charmed the great and the infamous to make a difference, right? That's what he's about. So you heard them talk about Jesse Jackson, and Jesse Jackson talking about Palestine. Now, let me explain why Palestine is so important to these leftists and how him and Obama, even though they had disdain for each other, they connect. And it shows this far left-wing agenda to strengthen the Arabs to take down the Jews in Israel. This has been a plot going on for years, allegedly. So as you see,
the plot is 10 tenets of the Illuminati. One is to abolish Christianity. Two is to abolish home ownership. That's why we got Agenda 2030. And I can't think of the other 8 offhand, but I've been through these 10 tenets before throughout my videos. And that's why they using Islam to take out Christianity. And then they're going to take out Islam. because they worship the Luciferian doctrine. They are Satanists.
Right here. The Democrats keep talking about Palestine. Even Jesse Jackson was talking about Palestine, and we got to take care of Palestine. AOC, Palestine. I want you to look at the ties here. Let me make sure I enlarge this, because it also helps explain why all of a sudden we see this celebration of the Democrats wanting to support Iran. I won't say celebration, the support of Democrats for Iran. Iran's backing of Palestine, a historical and ideological convergence. The Palestinians and the Iranians are connected and united at the hip. So when you hear them talk about free Palestine, they're also saying free Iran. They want these countries to be empowered, to be emboldened, and these countries hate America.
Facts.
They plan attacks. They've taken American lives. But the Democrats
We have already had 4 terrorist attacks, 3 in New York since Mandani is in. Good job. That's what Open Borders does. And I think I'm gonna do that as the second video. Yep, I think I got time. I'm kind of up now.
American agenda has been destroyed by President Trump going in there, snatching up Maduro, and going into Iran because China.
Okay, we want to get past this. Let's get back.
The radical is. Why would he send them almost $2 billion? Let's see. The Obama administration is acknowledging, all of these pop-ups trip me out. The Obama administration is acknowledging its transfer of $1.7 billion to Iran earlier this year was made entirely in cash using non-U.S. currency.
Facts.
A Treasury spokeswoman says the cash payments were necessary because the effectiveness of U.S. and international sanctions, which isolated Iran from the international finance system. The $1.7 billion was the settlement of decades-old arbitration claim between U.S. and Iran. So he's literally paying Iran billions of dollars for an arbitration claim made decades before he even got in office.
Facts.
So they're saying, hey, listen, we had a suit going on with y'all. We had arbitration, and we feel like y'all owe us. And Obama says, you're right. An initial $400 million cash delivery was sent on January 17th. The same day, Tehran agreed to release 4 American prisoners. So $1.7 billion for 4 prisoners.
So what he did was he paid for the release of prisoners. Trump said, release my prisoners. He ain't paid shit. You see the difference in leadership? Trump ain't give him shit. When he left office, Iran was broke. But now they done blowed up all their oil refineries over there. They blowed them up.
Over $400 million a person. And guess what that sparked? It sparked the Iranians to realize their best fundraising tool is to kidnap Americans. And they've even said this out loud. Check this clip out.
Okay, this is what he said. Our government gets paid 1.7. This is the Iranian government. Our government gets paid 1.7 billion to hand over this spy. This was June 20th, 2023. Oh shit. Oh shit. Thus, just by detaining one, the IRGC earns the equivalent of 1 to 2 billion. As I refill my drink. No therapy. NATO cannot. Now, then he says, now, after they killed the IRGC Qasemi Soleimani, our government received 3 billion. Then after they killed him, they got another 3 billion from the United States for killing their supreme leader. Now he says the IRGC creates dams, roads, highways, and bring security to Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, Palestine, and elsewhere. It runs newspaper and produces TV shows. And yet the president complains, be honest, were you able to make such earnings? Now they mocking you. They mocking you for giving them 1.7 billion. Then Biden bitch ass turn around and give them 1.6 billion with his dementia ass. He said, such as this, 3 billion for one, 1.7 billion for the other. This is the way to do it. Making mockery. Oh shit. He said, this is the solution. Our forces at sea that go for the patrols each month. Should we now look, he said, should we take 10 or 20 Americans as hostages? You can't make this shit up. For each one of them, we should get 1 billion. You can't make this shit up. If you get 1 billion per week, the year has some 51 weeks. That's at least $50 billion. When could we have made such money? Wow, mockery of America. This is how to do it. We should take all Americans.
So, as you heard, now, the Obama administration, right here, had claimed the events were separate, but recently acknowledged the cash was used as leverage until the Americans were allowed to leave Iran. The remaining $1.3 billion represented estimated interest on the Iranian cash the U.S. has held since the 1970s. So Obama felt like he was the one to come in there and right the wrongs of the previous administration and make sure that he gives the Iranians their money that they feel like they were owed. Sounds pretty treasonous if you ask me. Sounds pretty anti-American. Like
facts, therapy, facts.
He gets deeper on Jesse Jackson. So as it says, Jesse Jackson and the betrayal of the civil rights movement. His attacks on Jews went beyond his Hymietown slur. More than that, his illiberal opposition of the Western canon and grifting racial hucksterism did great damage. So as you see in this article, it talks about his opposition to the Western way of life. So we can get up there and act like, oh, Jesse Jackson was just this great, fantastic guy. No, Jesse Jackson was anti-American. He was super far left, and he couldn't stand Obama, which is why they decided to take that moment to dance on his grave. But this man of such great integrity, I'm not sure if you knew this, he had children out of wedlock on his wife. Jackson admits
he had one daughter.
And see, these are the things that people have known within that circle. Trump knew, but he never exposed them. But yet Jesse Jackson turned his back on him. Also, Jesse Jackson was blackmailing corporations. He was, hey, listen, if you don't give me $500,000, I'm going to go out and I'm going to tell black people that you're a racist and they're going to boycott your store. Nothing say, hey, listen, do this to get more black jobs or do this to open up a store in the black community. No, it was all for personal preservation. And he was using his position as a quote-unquote civil rights leader that the Democrats propped up. And we see how much skullduggery they do, how they're perfectly fine with stealing, fraud, all of that. So he fit right on in there. He was blackmailing corporations to do what he wanted them to do, give him the kickbacks that he wanted, or else he was going to go out there and lie, call them racist, and create backlash. Guess who else that sounds like? Ain't that what Al Sharpton is doing? And Al Sharpton is a disciple of those guys. What Al Sharpton did to Target. Now, let me ask you this. Do you believe Al Sharpton ain't get a kickback of some kind?
Hell yeah, he did. Hell yeah, he did. And Al Sharpton was a government operative because he was selling crack in the 80s with his fat ass back then and got busted and snitched on everybody. He was he was working with the FBI. Fuck him too. Damn, that was a good video. Damn, I'm at my hour. I guess we're going to do a part 2. Damn, this was pretty good. Damn, that was good. Should I keep that? Nope, I'm gonna erase that. Nope, nope, nope. I'm gonna have to keep that just for the beginning. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I'm about to come back. I guess we can. This will be a quick video with these quick terrorist attacks. Yep, it'll be quick because I'm sleepy. Yep, like, share, subscribe, hit the like button. I'm coming right back with these terrorist attacks in New York City.